Bonjour à tous. Je suis Carlos Manuel Rodríguez, Director General del Fond del Environment Mondial. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I was really trying to be in Paris to join you all in the celebration of 30 years of great success with FFEM. My gratitude to Stephanie, but most importantly, my gratitude to the French people and the French government because through 30 years they've been working in biodiversity conservation and most recently integrating their nature investment with climate change, desertification, and the many different environmental issues. For the GEF, being able to work with FFEM is great because in many places that we have been working, we've been we use a baseline of investments by FFEM. We've been able to upscale, in a sense, some of the initiatives that the FFEM has been working. I'll give you a very clear example in my own country, Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, we got this wonderful, beautiful, unique oceanic island with high endemism, which is Cocos Island. It's a tropical version of the Galapagos. And we had problems with invasive species. FFEM, when I was a minister in Costa Rica in 2003, 2004, developed a program that gave us the understanding of how we can eradicate those invasive species. Eventually, after that initiative and that project, the government in Costa Rica, the GEF, and other partners in the Eastern Tropical Pacific were able to invest not just in Cocos Island, but the other islands that had similar challenges with invasive species in Panama, Colombia, and Ecuador. So this is an excellent example of the joint efforts that we've been doing. Not just the GEF trying to build on the investment that FFEM has done, but also we have done through these 30 years, more than 50 projects together. So in moments where financial resources are limited, not just domestic resources in each of the countries that we work, but also at the international level with regards to flows of all the aid for nature conservation, we need to be more smart and more efficient on how we do things. And this has to do with much more integration across multiple levels of investment so the mobilization of financial resources can really match what all parties agree in Target 18 of the CBD, the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. So looking at the future, I think that we need to really understand that what we have done has been great. I mean, the effort of conservation, species conservation, protected areas, corridors, and I think that that is wonderful. But those investments are still not sustainable in the long run. We at the GEF, we see with a lot of interest how FFEM has been working with civil society in the countries that they work. For us at the GEF, investing with civil society gives us an opportunity to spec sustainability in our components. But most importantly, nowadays, with so many political challenges around the world and thinking on a post-2030, we need to recognize that even though we've done great, we haven't moved the needle in terms of sustainability. And let me give you an example of protected areas. When FFEM was created, 2/3 of protected areas were located in the global north and 1/3 of protected areas in the global south. And together the FFEM, the GEF, and multiple bilateral organizations as with national countries were able to revert that. And today 2/3 of protected areas are in the global south where biodiversity is concentrated and 1/3 in the north. I think that this is a wonderful achievement. And probably all these protected areas are around 20% of the planet. But we have a commitment by 2030 to go from where we are to 30%. And that requires not just the expansion and creation of new ways of protecting biodiversity with people, But most important, we need to recognize that what we have done in terms of creating systems and protected areas in the Global South in the last 30 years still needs to be consolidated. I strongly believe that 50% of protected areas in developing countries are paper or water parks. Water parks are those marine protected areas. And we need to really improve the way we cooperate and collaborate, because these protected areas, 30 years ago when they were created, the nearest road was 250 miles away. Now the road is right next to the protected area, and they are finding gold and minerals and oil and gas in many of those protected areas. So that effort that we did jointly hasn't proved not to be sustainable. And due to many political challenges, working with the private sector and working with IPLCs, local communities, is extremely important. This is what the GEF is looking into the future. I strongly believe that there will be a new paradigm of cooperation and multilateralism as we finish the SDGs and the environmental-oriented target by 2030. And from there on, we need to expand the scope of what we do, particularly with regards to the fact that one of the biggest challenges that we need to confront, and it is clearly established in Target 18 of GBF, has to do with the negative investments that every single society, every single country is doing. We invest much more resources in activities and in sectors that destroy nature and contribute to climate change than what we invest in reverting those tendencies. And we cannot be far distant from this reality, because this is one of the biggest limitations. At the GEF, we call that the lack of political coherence. And at the end of the day, every single investment that we do has to have a specific outcomes and outputs that are politically oriented, so we can begin moving forward the agenda of mobilization of domestic resources more efficiently. I want to thank once more the French government, the institutions from the French government, and the French people for their commitment to protect nature around planet Earth. For us at the GEF, it is an honor to work with you all. And yes, this is the moment to step up and begin scaling up, integrating much more the effort across the funds, and including much more stakeholders than what we had done before. So congratulations and feliz cumpleaños.